6 News is on your side. The Iowa West Foundation is going deep into its pockets to help prepare the next generation of workers for in-demand careers. Healthcare, education, and construction trades, just a few of the fields that need more workers.
John Chapman reports on the new program launched by the Iowa West Foundation.
In 2018, Council Bluffs Community Schools started its Career and Academic Pathway program, working with their students, guiding them to earn certificates in the trades. Teaming up with Iowa Western Community College, the students taking high school and college classes at the same time. That program has grown over the years, now offering 27 pathways for college and career advancement.
Last year on this campus, 107 students walked across their stage before they graduated with us. We had 589 graduates last year. 81% graduated with a second credential.
I graduated high school and college at the same exact time.
Stacy Green is one of those Council Bluffs graduates who took advantage of the program.
It saved me a lot of money and a lot of stress to try and figure out, student loans and everything, because I would hate the fact knowing that I'm taking student loans out.
Stacy is now featured in a video to launch a new program. The Aspire Workforce Program will include all 6 public school districts in Pottawatomie County. Iowa Western Community College will play a major role by bridging the gap between education and employment. Staff at Iowa Western will work with high school students, helping them transition from high school to college level work.
And then at completion of that, we transition them from coursework to employment. So it's been amazing what Iowa Western Community College can do for these high school programs.
Brenda Mainwaring is the president and CEO of the Iowa West Foundation. Iowa West is putting big money on the table to add to and educate staff for training and expand on existing programs. Iowa West will also pick up the tab so students can advance their education and careers for little or no money.
We have a budget of a little over $1 million annually that we're going to commit to this program. We're adjusting and finishing off some scholarships, and we're going to keep expanding this program until we get to that $1 million a year level.
On your side in Council Bluffs, I'm John Chapman, 6 News.
Officials tell us Aspire will help post-high school students to buy tools or uniforms, also to pay for the tests they need to get certification for certain careers.